Omega-3 Max is perfect for people striving to keep their hearts healthy and bodies operating at peak performance. Order Omega-3 Max today.
Center on McMillan Booth Road in Clearwater. Online at Fortifeye.com. And listen to Ask the Doctor Saturday morning at 9 on AM 930 The Answer.
Ask the Doctor with Michael Lange begins in 10 seconds.
When it comes to your health, are you seeing the check engine light come on more than normal? It's time to get under the hood. It's time for Ask the Doctor with Dr. Michael Lange. Sponsored by Lange Eye Institute and Fortifeye Vitamins. Dr. Lange is a board-certified optometric physician and certified nutrition specialist, helping people see and feel better through proper nutrition for 25 years. The doctor is in. Call now with your questions at 877-969-8600. That's 877-969-8600. Here's your host, Dr. Michael Lange.
Okay, good morning and welcome to Ask the Doctor. I'm your host as usual, Dr. Michael P. Lange, P for Paul, and I am here each and every Saturday morning live to answer any and all questions you may have regarding your vision, eye care, or a nutritionally related topic. I hear through the grapevine that Ask the Doctor is the longest running live medical syndicated talk shows in the country, and we've been hosting Ask the Doctor since April of '93, nonstop. Let me tell you, nonstop. So that's been a few years, and it seems like I just started the show when Country Jim Kirk in Ocala, Florida, gave me an opportunity to host Ask the Doctor. It was called Sound Off with Dr. Michael Lange on WMOP. That's MOP, AM station in Ocala back in the day in April of 1993. Anyway, today is Ask the Doctors. It's myself, Dr. Michael Lange, and my co-host, Dr. Susan Summerton of the Lange Eye Institute and Fortifeye Vitamins. Dr. Susan Summerton is also a board-certified optometric physician, certified nutritional specialist, and she's fellowship trained in two arenas of nutrition as well, and a diplomat in nutrition. So she's got more degrees in nutrition than anybody I know. Anyway, I'm going to take this opportunity to welcome Dr. Summerton. Good morning, Dr. Summerton.
Good morning. Wishing everybody the last happy day in January. How quickly, I'm sure we all realize it's gone, and the cool weather is upon us all over the country. So we hope everybody's out there staying warm, getting some movement in still to keep all that blood circulation going, those muscles going to help keep you warm.
Absolutely. And it's supposed to get chilly. It's already been a little chilly in northern Florida. But I was sitting out in the sun getting a little vitamin D yesterday right near Clearwater in Safety Harbor. And I think it's going to start getting a little chilly today, probably, and tomorrow. Anyway, we're going to update everybody on some of the news that we got going on. First, the bad news, all right? Fortifeye Fit Pro that a lot of you have been taking for quite a while now. It's the ultimate muscle fuel. Fortifeye Fit Pro is on back order. I apologize. We've done everything in our power to get it off a back order. And the reason it is in back order is globally, there is a lack of whey protein. There's a massive shortage of grass-fed whey protein isolate, grass-fed whey protein concentrate, and even non-grass-fed whey proteins. Huge shortage. The good news is this: we still have plenty of Fortifeye Super Protein. That's our grass-fed New Zealand protein. And we have plenty of the grass-fed whey isolate. And we have plenty of the vegan super protein as well. We just out of Fit Pro because remember, there's whey protein in the Fit Pro. So what you can do is simply order one of our whey proteins and then order the new Fortifeye Creapure Creatine, HMB, and vitamin D. Those are three of the ingredients that are in the Fit Pro, the main three ingredients, and just combine it with Fortifeye protein. And if you want to even get better with the collagen, you combine it with Rejuvenate. And then that's kind of a triple whammy. Our Fortifeye Rejuvenate, our Fortifeye Creatine HMB, and one of our Fortifeye proteins. And we can put those together. And, you know, Dr. Summerton, we'll talk about why there is a global lacking of whey protein in a minute. But, you know, we've been doing this. I know you have and I have. We've been making the combination of these into our own super drink, haven't we?
Yeah, and I like to do that for a variety anyway, so I'm not doing the same thing all the time to mix the different flavors and the different combinations. And you have the flexibility with the creatine and MyHMB. It's unflavored, so you can add it to whatever you want. And then the vegan protein, the salted caramel mocha, I love that in the morning. It's a great, you want a flavor of coffee, chocolate in the morning, and you can even add it to that and add the collagen as well. And it's a great combination.
Yep, it works really well, and it's so good for you. I like taking the Fortify Super Protein and chocolate, and then the chocolate Rejuvenate, and then unflavored creatine, and combine them all together in water and just shake them up, and it works really well. Let me give the phone number. If you guys got a question, give us a call, 7-969-8600. This is toll-free anywhere in the continental U.S., 877-969-8600. Yes, some people still have a landline in their homes, and they like the toll-free number, 877-969-8600. We're live in the studios. This is sometime toward the end of January, and we're hosting Ask the Doctor. So why is there an increased global demand of whey protein? Well, one reason, and Dr. Summerton and I have talked about this many times, GLP-1 receptor drugs. Doctors are now making a recommendation, and thankfully so, to eat more protein when you're on a GLP-1 receptor drug so you don't develop sarcopenia and muscle wasting. And so there are benefits to these GLP-1 receptor drugs, right, Dr. Summerton? But we need to pound the protein even when you're on this drug and when you're dieting, correct?
Right. When you cut back calories, you're cutting back the nutrition and the fuel for your muscle. So you really need to focus on the main calories of being the protein when you're trying to lose weight, because otherwise that muscle isn't going to have the fuel it needs, and you're just going to lose that muscle. You're going to lose weight, but most of it is going to be muscle. So we all know we want to lose the fat and not the muscle. So prioritizing that protein at each meal is a way to help keep you full as well as not lose muscle.
And also the new food pyramid, you know, we're pounding the protein, and the government says to eat more protein. So the new food pyramid, sports nutrition, functional foods, and of course, ask the doctor. I mean, Dr. Summit and I have been, you know, preaching whey protein for years now. So we've been way ahead of the curve. And then here's something that people don't really know. Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks. Thank you. They've been buying up the world's supply of whey protein. So you might want to go to Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks if you want to get your whey protein, if you can't get anywhere else. And also be prepared for your whey protein to go up in price. We're holding our price exactly the same right now, as long as we can. So I recommend going to fortifeye.com. That's Fortifeye, fortifeye.com. If you want to get whey protein, our super protein or our grass-fed whey protein, buy it now before it goes on back order too. Now, we've got pallets and pallets of this, so I don't foresee us going on back order for a while, but we might be the only people remaining that has a good supply of whey protein. All right, we're going to go to the phones. Let's go to Steve in Clearwater. Steve, good morning. Welcome to the program.
Yes, you might. What you just can handle not being able to get the Fit Pro and all. You might publish that on your website because you can substitute and everything. I don't know. It's just an idea.
I'm probably going to have a little excerpt, a little paragraph under the Fit Pro when they go to purchase the Fit Pro, telling them what their options are. But we're working on it. I got some connections in the industry, and I'm doing everything in my power to get some whey protein for Fit Pro. But it still will probably be a month or so that will be on back order.
Okay, and another thing I'm going to do is contact someone in the Commerce Department and see if there's a group of people that are trying to get rid of these bottlenecks caused by tariffs.
Mm-hmm.
And although that's not your problem, it might be handy to put you into that particular compound into a priority.
I might just start having to raise my own brown cows and have my own A2 cow for milking purposes and making my own whey protein.
Well, that's true. And you know, that's the way. That's the law of economics. Find a need and fill it, right?
Amen.
Also, one thing about it, you made a mistake on your festival this year.
Wow.
Not festival, but your Mardi Gras festival, what'd you call it for the 22nd?
Our Mardi Gras extravaganza on February 21st. We're inviting the entire country, of certainly the villages. We're going to have a big crowd. It's going to be like Mardi Gras in the villages. So it's going to be at the Lange Institute. We're going to have a big tent set up. We're going to have Zydeco music, jazz music. We're going to have jambalaya. We're going to have pralines. And Dr. Summerton and I were just talking about the praline situation and king cake. And we're going to have beads, and we're going to have some huge discounts on everything, frame vendors, holistic doctors there. It'll be a great big event and a lot of fun for everybody. What's the mistake I made?
You made one theological error. Ash Wednesday is the 18th, right?
Right.
And so basically Mardi Gras, what they call Fat Tuesday or something like that.
Right.
The whole point of it is that you're supposed to have your festivals and your big eating and your celebrations before Ash Wednesday. So you need to move this up from the 22nd to the 14th.
We can't do that because that Mardi Gras would interfere. The villages are going to have lots of their own Mardi Gras parties, so we're going to do it after their parties are over.
Oh,
there's a method to my madness, Steve. Believe me.
And one thing, you made a very good point last week. You were talking, and you took the thought out of my head. You're talking about eating the carnivore diet. Even if you're not on a full carnivore diet, it would be the best diet to have for before you go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
Did you remember us making that comment?
I do, especially if you're wanting to lose weight.
Yeah, exactly. And another good thing about that is that, you know, the thing about your growth hormone is released about 90 minutes after you go to sleep.
Right.
The intensity of that release is based on low blood sugar. So if you can keep your blood sugar not low, but normal, not have a blood sugar high from eating a lot of fruits and stuff before you go to bed,
right, your
release of growth hormone will be a lot better. So I think that's a brilliant idea to recommend people on a weight, at least have the carnivore diet for their evening meal. I think that's a brilliant idea you had.
I'm glad you agree with this thing. I'm glad you don't find fault in that one, like we did in my Mardi Gras extravaganza.
Yes, well, Pope Leo is very unhappy with your scheduling.
All right, Steve. Thanks, buddy.
Okay, and you have a great day. Oh, and I found an interesting, one more thing. I found an antioxidant, which is from a certain plant that is just as strong as astaxanthin, which I didn't think anything was even close to astaxanthin.
Right.
Astaxanthin says it's 6,000 times more powerful than vitamin C. Ironically, this antioxidant is 6,000 times. The ORAC value is almost exactly the same as astaxanthin. But before I announce it on the radio, I'd like to talk to you personally to make sure that I don't want everybody going out and getting this. If I want to make sure that everything's right.
All right,
so
we'll do a special consultation off the air then. How's that?
Yes, I'll do it free.
All right, Steve. Thanks for the call, buddy.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Bye.
All right. Dr. Summerton, you still there?
I am. And we were going to talk a little bit. He talked about astaxanthin. We were going to talk a little bit about the carotenoids and our lipid profiles affecting the cholesterol.
Yes, that's a very good idea. So we as eye doctors do preach consuming more of the carotenoids in the xanthophyll family. That means lutein, zeaxanthin, astaxanthin. And I created Fortifeye Focus years ago now. I was the first in the industry to combine astaxanthin, lutein, and zeaxanthin in a gel cap. Oh, by the way, if you're buying our 30-count Fortifeye Focus, it's a micro gel cap, red micro gel cap. If you're buying the 90, we went back to the ones that are a tad bigger. They're about 10% bigger, and they're marbled look, a little black and red. It's like we used to make them. And the reason for that is we had to get somebody else to manufacture them at the same time. It's the same exact product, just a little bit different gel cap. So don't freak out when you get in, it's different. It's the same exact thing, just a different gel cap. And we're trying to keep up with the need. So we don't want to go on back order for Fortifeye Focus. So we're using a little bit different gel cap. So once again, those carotenoids cross the blood-retinal barrier and the blood-brain barrier. So they're very good for your brain, very good for your retina. They increase macular pigment density. The astaxanthin increases accommodative ability and focusing ability. Also, these carotenoids are amazing for the skin. But there's some new evidence that Dr. Summerton just mentioned about carotenoids maybe elevating cholesterol. But it's not bad, is it, Dr. Summerton?
No, because when we looked into the study further, and it's a new study that just came out, it talks about how it actually improves the HDL profile on your blood report. And that's the one the doctor says or kind of refers to as the good cholesterol. And they basically did the study with lutein, zeaxanthin, and they included beta carotene in this study, which we all know those familiar, like you said, for the eye. But the way it kind of works, it goes into the blood and it's carried by these kind of cholesterol molecules. So what they found when they studied it, taking these supplements, it actually improved the HDL cholesterol. It didn't really have as much an effect on the bad cholesterol, we refer to as LDL, and the triglycerides tended to decrease. So basically, by taking the carotenoids, it improved the lipid profile on the blood work by improving those HDLs. So now we know that they can be protective not only against macular degeneration, but also against cardiovascular disease too. And in this study, the zeaxanthin one had the strongest effect, followed by lutein second. And that's what we're talking about in the focus. It has the lutein, the zeaxanthin, and the astaxanthin there. So we can reduce our triglycerides and improve our HDL at the same time as protecting our eyes.
And you know, when you add omega-3 to it, a good triglyceride form of omega-3 like Fortifeye Super Omega or Super Omega-3 Max, it makes it work that much better because it helps the carotenoids absorb better, acts as a shuttle system. And then we all know that the right form of omega-3 can also lower triglycerides and cholesterol. So if you have elevated triglycerides, elevated cholesterol, the ratio of cholesterol is not right, you can consider taking something like Fortifeye Focus or a carotenoid that's similar to that. And you can learn about it at fortifeye.com and potentially adding Fortifeye Super Omega or Super Omega-3 Max. It's kind of a double whammy of fighting against lipids in our system that may help reduce the chance of us having strokes and heart attacks, not to mention ocular problems as well. Also, some studies came out a little bit before this study proving that these carotenoids may help with depression as well. And we now know that carotenoids are not just for adults, it's also very important for kids. And there's some new studies on kids' nutrition between 8 and 16 years of age. Kimin used their FluoroGlow, 5 milligrams of FluoroGlow lutein that also has the zeaxanthin in it. And these kids did amazingly well with a lot less reduction in eye strain, digital eye strain, chronic digital eye strain, even improved depth perception and cognitive abilities. So consider your kids between 8 and 16 years old taking a supplement that has lutein, zeaxanthin, and astaxanthin. And we're going to talk about those studies in a lot more detail probably in a few more weeks. As a matter of fact, Fortifeye is working on a gummy right now that has the ratio that have been studied in this clinical kids. So that will come available in the near future. We're working on that gummy, and we're working on something I announced last week called Fortifeye Fit Bites. And these are delicious chocolate raspberry gummies that are going to curb your appetite. We have allulose and monk fruit in it. And we're going to also have Slendesta, potato extract that curbs your appetite. So now you have these little delicious bites that you can consume in between meals to curb your appetite, still get that psychological, feeling wonderful indulgence of eating a little piece of chocolate raspberry. So those we're working on. We already had one prototype that everybody tried and they liked it, but we're fine tuning it. All right. Phone lines are open. You're listening to Ask the Doctors. I'm Dr. Michael Lange, and Dr. Susan Summerton is some co-host. Give us a call at 877-969-8600. That's 877-969-8600. We're broadcasting from Salem Media here in Tampa Bay. Also, some more bad news. The BOGO for vegan protein is over. Now, I gave y'all plenty of opportunity to get this. We did it for 3 weeks. We were only going to run it for 1 week, but the pushover that I am, we ran it for 3 weeks. So the BOGO on the vegan protein is over. Now you have to pay full price. Actually, there's a way you buy multiple ones. You can still get up to 25% off, 15 to 25% off if you buy multiple ones. So the BOGO is now over on the Fortifeye Vegan Super Protein, which is the only vegan protein that I know of that isn't sourced from China and is a vegan protein with a PD-CAS score of 1. That's perfect protein, same as whey protein. We added velocitol to it, and that doubled the amino acid power. So we have a vegan protein now that not only is delicious in 3 flavors, but the amino acids, the essential amino acids and branched chain amino acids are that of whey protein. We also have a 90 count of our black currant seed oil now. That's the GLA, black currant seed oil, gamma linoleic acid. And it's a 90 count now, so it's a little bit of a discount. Dr. Summerton, we use this probably more than most doctors because there's a definite connection between GLA and dry eye. But when you think about it, the typical American diet, the SAD American diet, so that's the standard American diet, are probably deficient in things that have GLA, wouldn't you think?
Right, and that is the point of the supplementation is we're not trying to substitute for what you're eating. We want the foundations to be correct. We want you to have a whole food diet. We want you to eat your protein. But because the way our foods are and the way our foods have been processed and the way our foods have been grown and the selections we have out there, we know it's difficult to get those optimum levels. And black currant seed oil is just one example. That's really hard to get that into your diet. And a lot of our dry eye patients, that's kind of a missing key ingredient that just lifts that therapeutic levels just that little bit higher to improve their tear film to make them feel more comfortable and have better quality vision with a smoother tear film.
Right. And we've been involved in a lot of research over the years looking at different combination of nutrients that help dry eye. And we found that a combination of omega-3, triglyceride form, so Fortifeye Super Omega, and then also black currant seed oil that has 140 milligrams of GLA, combined with our Fortifeye Focus, which is the lutein, zeaxanthin, and astaxanthin, the carotenoids we just talked about. When we combine all 3 of these, it sort of has a synergy at helping dry eye, helping reduce dry eye symptomology. It acts on inflammation, and it gets a little bit technical. It acts on all 3 prostaglandins, series prostaglandins at lowering inflammation, series 1, 2, and 3. And that's where black currant seed comes in, evening primrose oil or borage oil, because that stimulates the series 1 prostaglandins to stimulate a healthier tear film, where the omega-3s and the astaxanthin can act on series 2 and series 3. So it's a triple whammy of fighting inflammation in the eye, especially on dry eye patients. So it's called Fortifeye Advanced Dry Eye Therapy. We combine all three. We put it in a box and give you a really good discount. Check it out at fortifeye.com. Also, if you have inflammation, when you think about it, the majority of our patients with dry eye are a little bit older, although we got a lot of young people with dry eye. What else do they have? A lot of them have arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis. So these are anti-inflammatory for the entire body. So not only does their dry eye benefit, but also oftentimes the systemic health and the joints can benefit as well. And in a few minutes, we're going to talk about a connection between dry eye and atrial fibrillation as well. But let me give you the phone number for Fortifeye Vitamins. It's 866-503-9746. That's 866-503-9746. And then the Lange Eye Institute is in the Villages, Florida. It's a state-of-the-art eye care center, a pretty big center. That's where Dr. Summerton and I hail from. And the phone number for the Lange Eye Institute is 352-753-4014. That's 352-753-4014. If you want to order anything on the Fortifeye website, go to fortifeye.com. I think we're getting ready to take a break here in just a second. And we're going to talk about the link between dry eye and atrial fibrillation. And we're going to talk about an exciting topic called photobiomodulation therapy in just a second. So we'll be right back.
They're frustrating and irritating than chronic dry eye. It never stops. The itching, the scratching feeling, the fatigue and weariness. If you're